trying to get comfy. Good morning. I have new cards coming. I'm so excited. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna sit and shake some cards. Divine rising, love. Happy sunrise. I love my life. Do you love yours? I think you do, Nisi. Oh, look at what master came to visit this morning. Whoops. Ganesh. And it's saying that my path is clear. So if you're looking for a message that you're on the right path, it's right there. Happy sunrise. Oh. I love you guys. Yeah, it's beautiful. So yeah, we're gonna right? Well, of course you're on the right path. You're always on the right path. You can't be anywhere but the right path. I feel like a whole different person today because I like slept more than 4 hours last night. Ooh, oh my goodness, we've got a couple other masters coming in to hang out with us as well. Okay, so we've got our 3 masters. We're gonna just stick with 3 masters and we'll get some other cards going and we're gonna do like a big check-in and talk about things and play with some cards. And I have new decks coming. Oh my God, tomorrow's gonna be fun. We'll have 2 new decks. Yay! Ooh, hello from Brazil. How is it in Brazil? Oh, nice. What else do we have? Nice. I like it. Oh, that's too many cards, guys. Too many cards. You'll be in grade 2. You'll be in grade 2 at noon or in an hour-ish. Oh my goodness, they're really giving, no, 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 we're not. It's too many cards. Okay, they finally gave me one and then and made me throw a couple more, but the other ones we're not worrying about. Interesting. Okay, you'll be great too. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, I have a school. I have a school, and we learn really cool things. We learn really cool things. Which other decks do I? Oh yes, we need these guys. Coming in close. Ooh, 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 ooh. Love and light. I like really cool things. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So, did you know that there is a mothership off the coast of, or sorry, in the Gulf of Mexico? Did you know that? Did you hear that? I heard that. Yeah? Very cool, huh? I also heard that there's one in the Caribbean. My mama's home. Remember when I did that one time and I actually shushed you guys? And then I laughed because afterwards, like, no, I don't even hear you. I feel like I did. Nice. It was nice that you guys were able to get back on TikTok so quickly after them closing it all down. Sorry, I had to take note of that card. I'm just pulling all the cards right now, and then we'll talk about it all at once. All at once. Yeah. But it's back up now, though. It's back up now completely. They brought it back out. Apparently, what they were saying was that Trump Trump got access back up for everybody so that they could watch the inauguration today. And it's also Martin Luther King Day. Oh, cool. This is getting to be really, really cool. He's so excited. My mom made some cards. Yeah, and level up day for Silesia. Level up day. Solar return. Whoa, whoa, whoa. At least they're coming out quickly this time. Oh, yes. We've got our sword. Okay. Almost there, guys. Welcome to Aquarius season. Yes. Happy Aquarius season. All right, you can go on that one then. And that one. Nice. Okay, we've got quite the reading here. We've got basically 3 readings that I've drawn out here. So you can pick a number between 1, 2, or 3 as to which number resonates the most with you, and we'll go through the cards for each of those numbers. Okay, so let's see what we've got going on here for deck 1. Happy Aquarius season, Aquarius sister. Group 1 is Ganesha, and this is about my path is clear. And I'm going to actually read the message from Ganesha because these are new cards, and while I can give you a reading about it, I want to give what the cards have to say about it as well. Okay. Lord Ganesha, known as Ganapati, is the Hindu god of good fortune that provides prosperity, fortune, and success to all those that call upon him. Although he has many attributes, it is Ganesha's elephant head which gives him his distinctive look. Call upon Lord Ganesha before starting any project to increase the chances of success ahead. It's also associated with gentleness, open roads, new beginnings, success, prosperity, and abundance. To activate your master or goddess, speak the below mantra 3 times. My path is clear. My path is clear. My path is clear. Okay. So coming out from the star code astrology, we've got the 12th house. Now the 12th house is the house in which Pisces resides, and it's where we see the culmination of all of our lessons and experiences, and it would literally be dubbed your level up because you're transmuting everything from that year and getting ready for your rebirth in the next house. So there's a lot of lessons, a lot of karma that gets unfolded, a lot of healing that happens. And I love that they represent the 12th house with the chakra system and what looks like really an enlightenment within the card. The 12th house is also a time in which we do great introspection, but that's where you find God is within. So to do that introspection is how you're going to reaffirm that connection with your higher power, with your higher self, and even with the universe that's beyond, right? Our body is only, the third dimension is a really physical representation of the universe, but there's much more of the universe that is represented within a non-physical aspect. From the Rose Code Oracle, for those that chose the first deck, we are nature. This is about grounding yourself, because when you're going really high up, You're going to want to ground yourself really well to handle that amount of energy that you're experiencing. There's this embodiment that we're in, and I really feel aligned with what's being spoken of within this first reading, because I see so many things differently now. The last month in time has been just a totally different time. We're timeline jumping all the time, seeing these things and being really, really aware of these things as they're unfolding. There is so many synchronicities, so many serendipitous events. The way that you see, like visually, is changing. So the things that I'm seeing is broadening. What I'm hearing is widening. All of those things are happening, and it's through this embodiment, this connecting, and being a part of that living connection that exists. The quantum field runs between all of us. So connect to that quantum field and connect to other people on it. Hi, Debbie. How are you? From the Gateway of Light, we have the star being healing codes. So we have this beautiful energy, this information that's coming in, and we're healing all of our wounds and literally in this recharging space. As we're getting downloads, we need to take pauses and breaks so that we have time to integrate those things within our body. If we don't take the time to integrate those, we can do one of two things. We can not fully take in the downloads that we received, so it's kind of almost a waste of the information that we received. Or we can go in the opposite way, in the sense of that we crash and burn out, and it causes harm to the actual physical vessel because we're getting all the downloads so quickly. So this card makes sense coming from the shaman, which is talking about the winter's dream and that gestation period. The gestation period is a peaceful time. It's where things are working under the surface, right? When you think about it, in when you're pregnant, for those of us that are able to carry babies, but even those that have experienced someone else being pregnant, there's a lot going on under the surface. And even though as the woman may be experiencing the pregnancy, she may have some kind of understanding that there's a lot going on under the surface. But even then, like the what's going on underneath is so much bigger. So stuff's being done behind the scenes, like things are coalescing, connections are, getting to the point where they're going to be able to be made. And, while those things are getting put together, the puzzle pieces are being put in place, you're just gestating on that dream. You're building it and you're nurturing it and you're growing it. And the fruit that are going to be harvested from that are right there. They are right there. The last card that came out, or the energy of this whole reading, is about being in perfect harmony. So just really beautiful. Knowing that with this card, there's the message of, within life, we have a symphony. Everybody's playing a specific musical instrument within that symphony. Now, you could have a symphony of violins, and while it could sound really, really beautiful, it's not going to have the depth or the color or the beauty that a symphony has when it includes, drums and keyboards and, cellos and flutes and all kinds of other instruments. So there's value to having uniqueness, right? If we never had anything but, drums, although, and I picked drums because most people would be like, well, that would just be weird. That's the only music you had. The only instrument that we played was drums. That would be so one-dimensional. And what we have is a multifaceted music, because we have all these different instruments. And it's the same thing with life, because you are a unique instrument, and the way that you bring music to the world is meant to be the way that you bring music to the world, and that contributes to the beauty of the entire orchestra, by you having that uniqueness, because we're not all meant to be violins. Okay? So you're in perfect harmony. You're recognizing the beauty for you within, and that is with your uniqueness and that essence that you're bringing to the world. And we can also start to look at other people and recognize that they are as well bringing that uniqueness to the table, and that's the beauty of it. That beauty is that they aren't the same as you. That's the most beautiful thing of all. Alrighty, so let's see what's happening for deck 2. Now, deck 2 is brought to us by the Master, White Tara. And White Tara is about, may compassion guide me. So let's see what her message is. Like I said, I want to read these particular cards, and then we'll see what the other cards are that go with it. So White Tara is a form of Tara, the female Buddha and meditational deity. Tara is a very popular goddess in the Buddhist traditions. She is considered to be the goddess of universal compassion and represents virtuous and enlightened activity. The name Tara is derived from the root tri, to cross, hence the implied meaning, the one who enables living beings to cross the oceans of existence and suffering. White Tara's compassion for living beings and her desire to save them from suffering is said to be even stronger than a mother's love for her children. Other associations are compassion, silent service, meditation, and tranquility. To activate this goddess, speak the mantra, may compassion guide me, may compassion guide me, 3 times. May compassion guide me, may compassion guide me. Okay, so let's see what the rest of our reading is showing. So the second card to come out is from the Star Codes, the Astro Codes. Star Codes Astro, there we go. We're going to get it eventually. Deck. And it's the second house. The second house is the house of your resources and your worth. So if we allow ourselves to be in that space of compassion, so compassion, allowing love to really lead the way. If we're sitting in that space of love, then we are going to see an increase in our resources. But I want to see what else is going to come up for this reading, because not only is the second house, like I said, about your resources, it's also about your personal worth, like the value that you feel that you have. It's also about your self-esteem, your self-confidence, that type of information. I'm just looking at the imagery on it with the apple, with, you know, the apple's the color in the picture, and then with it having the arrow that goes through it with, it's very focused, but it's very grounded in nature as well. And the second house is the house that, that represents Taurus. So it's a very much, it can be a selfish energy. We have to be careful with that, right? And I think that's maybe why we have that compassion there. We have also from the Rose the Rose Oracle. There's no codes or cards. This is the Rose Oracle. We have Plant Yourself here. So this is all about integration, embodiment, and taking grounded action, which is really important, especially if we're looking at Taurus. I mean, Taurus is the most fixed and grounded of the signs, being that it is fixed earth. So, and it represents so much of that earthly energy. It's very important to stay grounded. And again, it goes back to like with the first reading. So if you didn't hear the first reading, hello Snea. If you didn't hear the first reading, go back and listen to that later, because maybe if this reading sounds like it's in alignment, or you picked this particular number too, there's definitely reference, and it may be that you're headed towards that direction. But within this, there is that integration and embodiment again. So how can you embody my guide? I'm just sitting with my guides for a second, so just hang on, because it's how to phrase it in the right way. So if you believe that you have a mission or a purpose on this earth that's linked, even like linked to your passions, which it will be, but if you think that you have that passion or that mission, are you embodying that? So if you believe that part of your mission is, say, a spiritual thing, do you have a spiritual practice? Right? Are you walking the talk of what you want to bring to the world? That's the embodiment. So are you embodying, are you being what you are bringing to the world? Are you embodying your passion and your purpose, right? So for me, I work in spirituality. I work in energy. So if I don't do energy practices or I don't have spiritual practices, then that's really me being false. I'm not embodying what I'm bringing to the table. And it's okay to be, intelligent and have, intellect on a variety of subjects, but to have real knowledge or wisdom on something, there has to be the embodiment of that. So it has to be brought into the practical. Okay, perfect. That was much better than struggling trying to find it. So from the Gateway of Light, we have Gaia Gateway Activation. So this is a very grounded reading. We have the fixed energy, like double fixed of Taurus being in the second house. We have, the embodiment within this plant yourself here. And then as well, the Gaia Gateway Activation. So we've been experiencing all of these different things. And right? I called in one of my favorite Taurus. Wait, I have to have a sip of tea. I messed up with my tea. It's actually cold. It's very sad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm just going to grab the tea bag and bounce it a little bit. Make it a little... It's not hot. it's not my favorite. Okay, so the Gaia Gateway Activation. If you look at life as an opportunity to learn and everything that you're experiencing as an opportunity to, have an experience where emotions are there, and like we don't have this ability as you transcend through the dimensions and you get to a certain point, your physical body is not your physical body. So in order for us to taste, touch, all the sensory matter senses, the senses that are based in matter, so touching and tasting are based in matter. We want to really experience this life, and we actually jump at coming down here and experiencing it. Right? Because when you ascend to a certain point, you can't have these textures. So we're here to experience those things, experience all the beauty of life. We want to experience the duality, right? As much as we come in and with the pure, we want to experience the duality so that we can work through the veil to get back to non-duality. We still want that experience. We don't, like if the only thing that you could ever feel is happiness, then how do you know what happiness feels like? Because you can't understand what something is until you know what something isn't, right? So we have to have that polarity. So it's about looking at life as learning experiences. And there's wisdom that's coming in right now in transmissions. And if you're open to it, and I think most of the people that are here would in fact be open to receiving downloads and activations and transmissions. And you're going to be getting those. So ground into the earth, maybe fully embody it. Maybe allow yourself to not just extend your root chakra energetic cords into the earth, but actually visually feel yourself sinking into the earth and getting all the way down into the center of Mother Gaia. And when you sit down there, envision this beautiful quartz crystal heart. Right, and quartz is just a way to visualize it, right? I can hold up a piece of quartz and you can visualize like that kind of clear, but you can just picture her crystalline heart, right? And you can just ground yourself that deeply, sit there in that space and receive wisdom and, love, and sit in that space. So allow yourself to receive that. Connect to Mother Gaia. There's wisdom that's coming in. There's earth, very intelligent. Like the earth is a very intelligent being. So we've got the wall coming up, which is talking about obstacles. And that's not necessarily to bring in any negativity or doom or gloom. Sometimes, well, no, it's not sometimes. We get stronger by having challenges, right? If everything was handed to us easy peasy, there would be nothing for us to grow against. There would be nothing for us to overcome. There'd be nothing, no challenges, or there would be no experiences that we gain the lessons from. Like, you don't learn to be patient because life gives you all kinds of things to be patient about. You learn to be patient by having things that make you feel impatient and learning not to allow them to make you feel that way. That's how you grow your patience, right? Your patience isn't you just got given it like it's a gift. No, you work to get that gift, and you work through the impatience to get there. So the same thing, this whatever this obstacle is giving you the opportunity to grow. So look at it as a beautiful lesson, as a beautiful, yeah, well, it's just a Tetley tea. It is. So the obstacles, it's chai today. How many groups? What do you mean how many groups? I missed that comment. I missed that comment, sweetie. I don't know what that meant. Okay, anyway. So, but what I'm getting with this is it's almost like there's a belief blockage, right? Like, you could open yourself up to so much more wisdom, to so much more spirituality if you just allowed yourself to believe in the existence of it, right? And as I believe in more and more magic, I see more and more magic. And as I believe in more and more magic, it raises the vibration too, so that more people are going to see subtle little examples of magic, which will then allow them to believe in it more and believe in it more until we're all believing in it, and magic is just everywhere, right? That's all we're doing is getting enough people to believe it so that everyone can see it. So this journey that you're on here, there's some healing that has to happen, and it's healing the heart, right? Allowing yourself to open up. And you know what? If you want to heal your heart, there's a multitude of different ways that you can do that. You could join me in the School of Light. You could join Truth Wave and meditate twice a day within that atmosphere, because there's a lot of this that's happening there, right? There's connections that are happening with other like-minded people. It's a beautiful environment filled with love and positive energy. And the meditation process that you go through is actually working through some of that as well. So the environment is just really, really beautiful. So there's a multitude of ways that you can do this, and by all means, there's way more than just the two that I've listed. Denise, Spiritual Warrior, she does stuff as well beautifully. Sherry, if Sherry's on here, she does stuff as well. Hi, Carol Cat. Hello, love. So this healing of the heart, we're going through this experience right now. For those that are in group 2, maybe you're doing it all on your own. Maybe this is something that you've already recognized, that there's a little bit of a blockage there that's stopping you from opening up to all of your beauty, all of your power. Sometimes we're afraid of our power. Sometimes, you know, we're afraid of, like, and sometimes we can't have access to our power until we transmute other things. Because if I had have had access to all my power when I was, you know, hurt, I might have done bad things to people out of that space of hurt. So I had to transmute the shadow before I could have access to it. So yeah, that's the reading for those that chose number 2. So next is number 3. Now, after I'm done number 3, I want to talk a bit about the telepathy tapes. Okay. Okay. We've got Yogananda. I'm not going to butcher his first name. It's Paramahansa Yogananda. And his message is, I open my spiritual eye to the light of the divine. So let's read what the message is, because like I said, with the Masters of Light, this is a new deck. And I could definitely intuit, but I want to give the message and a little bit of the explanation of because they tell you a little bit about each of the masters. So Paramahansa Yogananda is considered one of the preeminent spiritual figures of our modern times. Author of the best-selling spiritual classic Autobiography of a Yogi, this beloved world teacher came to the United States in 1920 from his native India and was the first great master of yoga to live and teach in the West for an extended period. He is now widely recognized as the father of yoga in the West. So to activate this master, you're going to repeat the mantra 3 times. I open my spiritual eye to the light of the divine. I open my spiritual eye to the light of the divine. I open my spiritual eye to the light of the divine. So let's see what the cards are for this particular master if you picked number 3. So the first card that we received is Descendant, and the Descendant is actually talking about, it's an invitation. Oh, sorry, just hang on one second. I can't pause it, but it's on the shelf in the bedroom by your nightgown.
Okay.
I kind of tried to bury it because it was ringing. So, and I forgot to tell you when you came home. I apologize for that. I had my mom's phone because she left it here when she left. So I buried it so I didn't have to hear it. But anyway, she's got it now. Okay, so this is an invitation, and we're going to see what this invitation is all about. Let's look at some of the other cards that are here because I'm kind of interested in where you're going. All right, so we've got the Brothers of the Rose. And the Brothers of the Rose are talking about the sacred masculine, about honor, protection, and support. So I'm going to wait a little bit. We're going to go into depth on these cards and how they relate together with the invitation and also the Brothers of the Rose. There's an initiate, just put it that way. There is an initiate. So you're getting an invitation from the Brothers of the Rose is what is the short of that. So then we've also got the Earth Star activation, which is represented by this beautiful Merkaba. So we're calling in Isis energy at this point, and this is really, really grounded action. So whereas in the second stack of cards, or those that pick number 2, within that particular one, it was about more of the healing and opening yourself up to be to really receiving the wisdom and the knowledge. Deck number 1 was more about you're waiting, you're in that gestation period, you've planted the seeds or you've done the work, you've laid the foundation, you're just waiting and the abundance is on its way to you. This one is kind of in between that, where it's not that you're in the initiation stages necessarily, or or in the healing stage. This is the initiation into that spiritual space. So you're taking that really grounded action. You've also got the Heart Home card coming out, and the Heart Home is about bringing in compassion, right? And so as we're moving forward and we're going through these experiences and we're growing and evolving and we're getting initiated and we're remembering who we are and what we're capable of, and we're starting to download new activations or new memories or new or new past life remembrances. We're starting to integrate all of these things. We have to be compassionate with ourselves, but we also have to be compassionate with other people. Nobody is better than anybody. We are all light beings having a human experience. And at some point in my life, I was not aware. At some point in my life, I did things based upon my triggers that, I wouldn't do now. At some point in my life, I had a very different viewpoint of the world. I was practicing definitely more duality, divisiveness, polarity, victim at different points in my life. And so it's understanding that there's no duality. Everybody is coming up. Oh, yeah, we were just doing three different cards. So that was number 2. And yeah, perfect. Thank you, Crystal. So Heart Home, this is also about being compassionate with everybody else and understanding that, we're all evolving together. And, you know, I remember, and this is my guides are giving me this, but you're only as strong as your weakest player is that message, right? You're only as strong as your weakest player. So with Earth, the evolution of Earth is only as strong as the weakest players. So we have to understand, and it's not, and there's not that anybody is stronger or weaker than, to put it in that way. But, you know, if as a collective, we have to be supporting the individuals who are not aware. We also have to be supporting the ones that are broken, and I don't mean broken in the sense of anybody's broken like that, but they may represent themselves to be broken, unhealed, hurt, needing to be fixed. I know previous to my healing journey, I would have identified as I'm broken, or there's something wrong with me. That would be definitely in that unhealed space, something that we might identify as, right? Still in that trauma space. So we have to be compassionate. We have to be compassionate. You know, we don't get anywhere by being aggressive. We don't get anywhere when we're being belittling. We don't get anywhere when we're demeaning people, right? We don't get anywhere, and that doesn't reflect on them when I'm being rude, or when I'm being demeaning, or when I'm, see how I'm saying I'm, because I'm the one that's doing it. So, you know, you need to be the one that's compassionate, and compassionate not just for you, but for everybody else, right? So this is like that activation that you're getting, that heart chakra activation, and, you know, activating your earth star chakra, and having the invitation to be a part of the blue rose, right? Or the brothers of the rose. So the sacred masculine, the with honor, protection, support. Like, we're picking up the mantle to be stewards of humanity, right? That's what the initiation is being initiated into being a steward of humanity. So as we're seeing all of these tragedies and travesties happening around the world, for us to be the beacon of hope, or the beacon of love, to hold the vibration in the higher space, to show people what turning away from the car, like not staring at the car accident, right? Instead of turning and looking away and looking at, you know, the healing or the safety, or, you know, the opposing energies. And we're awakening our genius. We are awakening our genius, right? It's a beautiful, beautiful space that we're stepping into. And by awakening our genius, we're going to be connecting with masters. We're going to be connecting with ancestors. Like, as I look at that card, I have chills everywhere, because I know that there are so many masters and there are so many ancestors that stand with us today. If you could see the people around you, the energies around you right now, you would be brought to tears by the sheer love and support and protection that surrounds you, and that is guiding you on your mission as we work together to transcend not just ourselves, but the entire earth, right? To raise the vibration of Mother Earth herself, and allow her to flow through this transition with ease and grace, by holding compassion not just for every human being, but for every light being, every energy, all the plants, all the animals, Mother Gaia herself. We're stewards of the earth, stewards of humanity. It's beautiful. And then we get our lovely Magician's Sword. So this is a bonus card, but we're getting the Magician's Sword. This is confidence in your magic, right? And as we build up our confidence, weird thing happens. Weird thing happens. When you believe in yourself, you get evidence of why you should believe in yourself. And the more you believe in yourself, the more that you have a reason to believe in yourself. Bixby just turned on my phone. Wanted to hear that. So that's like a confirmation of that, right? I don't know why they're listening. I don't even use that thing. So we are recognizing how magic we are, right? and we're stepping into our power. And because we believe in ourselves, we're starting to see more evidence of that. And, you know, I was talking a little bit earlier, like I've had so many profound moments recently, and like mind-blowingly profound moments, and, you know, even moments where I've been brought to tears by the beauty of life, the beauty of God, and by God being the source of all creation. So that light, that energy that runs through every single thing, that's God. That's God. And so I'm listening to the telepathy tapes, and if you're not listening to the telepathy tapes, you should listen to the telepathy tapes. I think that everybody needs to hear these tapes. It is absolutely eye-opening and beautiful and profound, and today it brought me to absolute tears. So do be aware that you will get to a certain point within the podcast where I don't know if you can listen to it without being affected emotionally, but in a beautiful way. And not just that, you know, autistic, non-speaking and partially non-speaking, not just the fact that you find out that because the same thing they talk about with somebody who is deaf, how they get heightened other abilities, or someone that's blind gets heightened hearing. It's the same thing when they can't speak, they get heightened other gifts. And the gift that they get is the ability to communicate with their thoughts, and also other spiritual gifts. So it's been really beautiful listening to this story. And I kind of want to talk about it, but at the same time, for those of you that haven't listened to the telepathy tapes, I don't want to ruin it for you. Because this episode, I think it almost is better ingested in authenticity without having anyone. Yeah, so I'm not going to share the details of it, but just do know that there are some really profound things that you learn about through listening to the telepathy tapes. So I strongly suggest for anybody who is interested in spirituality or telepathy to listen to it. And on the other note, I just talk about one of the things that the overriding message that I've gotten from, not the only message, many messages, but a really good one is that how society bases intellect based on behavior, and how that's ridiculous, that it happens, and it happens all the time. And because of that, it has left an entire group of individuals who never received the consideration or the education or anything that they should have, and many of them not even treated like humans, because it's assumed that because you have a lack of motor control, or you have sensitivities that lead to behaviors or triggers, that you lack intellect. And it's, you know, it's kind of the same way that I used to feel about, you know, trauma and mental health, that, you know, a lot of times people would undermine your capabilities because you're struggling with your mental health, and thinking that somehow relates to competence. So anyway, that's the message today, is definitely go and listen to the telepathy tapes. If you didn't listen to the entire readings of the other cards, definitely go back and rewatch it once it gets posted. And for those of you that are a part of the school, because you're super cool, I will see you there at noon Eastern. For those of you that are interested in the school, you can find out some information on my website, or you can also set up a free call that I have, and we could talk. I could talk all about it, I could tell you all about it. But what I will say is that it is really the journey of transcendence that we're on. So it's your ascension journey, but packaged in a school format. My brain just went, because I'm doing I'm multitasking, so I'm making myself not think correctly. I'm taking my thoughts offline by the little busy hands that I'm putting cards away. Okay, so grade 1 is the journey from shadow to light, and in grade 1, we're transmuting our shadow. I shouldn't say all of our shadow. We're transmuting our shadow. So we're transmuting our shadow in grade 1, working through our traumas. We're stabilizing our nervous system. We're learning emotional regulation. And even if you've done your healing journey, I ask that everybody starts in grade 1, because then they'll know what I do, what my process is. They'll know the language that I use, and it'll be important later on. Plus, there's always a chance that as we're on our journey that we may, I don't even like the word regress, but that we may need to step back into the first grade because we're dealing with a lot of stressors, and it's causing, I talk about your life as in you're managing a whole bunch of plates. When you'd see those waitresses walking with like all these plates on their arms, that's like you going through your life managing all these plates, and you have your personal plate, your family plate, your work plate, your health plate, your all these plates. And when something goes off kilter, if you're not careful, let's say something happens at work, if you're not careful with the stuff that happens at work, you're going to end up maybe not eating right, and you stop exercising, and then maybe you get into a fight with your wife. So now all these plates start to get disrupted, and then next thing you know, you're going to need the support that we would offer in grade 1. So I like to leave that everybody, no matter what grade they're in, they keep access to all the lower grades. So as you graduate, as you graduate through the grades, you don't lose access to the previous grade. So grade 1, we're doing that particular work. Grade 2, you have to have your nervous system stabilized a bit more, and you can't be in that space of victimhood anymore, because at that point we're starting to look at the information behind the veil, like what are they really hiding from us, what is the truth that's going on out there. And we're also looking at the other ways to be healthy and support your spirituality, your body and your mind, in these different ways. So that one, we're working on raising our vibration, and the reason why we have the separation in the grades is because we don't want to constantly have to be working on pulling and raising our vibration. So when we're in grade 1, the vibration is going to be lower than what it is in grade 2. So, and same thing with grade 3 and then the graduate class. But in grade 2, we're going from the journey of me to the journey of we, and looking at that as well. So a lot of stuff happening in there. It's the journey to awareness is what that's called. In grade 3, it's the journey to illumination. So this is where we've done me and we've done we, and now we're doing the collective, and we're working on like unity. We're working on intergenerational wounds, ancestral wounds. We're learning more spiritual practices. We are expanding our gifts. All kinds of stuff like that in grade 2 in the journey to illumination. We're working through our gene keys. And then when you become a graduate, you have the opportunity to stay on as a mentor, which would just mean you can continue to attend the classes and support the other individuals in the school. And, or you could, if it's appropriate and it works for both of us, you could sign on to be a tutor and offer individual services to the students, which would be just hosted on my website. The other thing about school is it gets cheaper. It gets cheaper the more that you, the longer that you're in it. So as you graduate, you also, as you keep access to the lower grades, you also get a discount, and it goes down almost by half. First grade is $144 Canadian per month, but you get the first month for $88. And the reason why is that those of you that have done healing and are only in there to understand my process and the language that I use, you'll process through that grade really quickly. And grade 2 is $88. So you're basically getting in grade 1 for 1 month at the price of grade 2. Grade 2 is $88, and we meet 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Grade 1, we meet 2 times a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. There's a supportive chat groups. There's WhatsApp chat group, but there's also Facebook chat group, and I think I'm going to move it to Telegram so that it's not affiliated with Meta. But anyway, there's a chat group, so you have support. There's mentors that are available to assist. You get a lot of practical tools. You also get for free in grade 1 my Calm Spaces library, and you get the Library of the Sacred Journey. So you have tools and stuff that you can use in those other days, but there's a lot of integration and doing the practical work that's involved in grade 1. In grade 2, you, like I said, you keep that access to everything else. It drops down to 88. When you go to grade 3, it drops to 44. And when you graduate as a guardian, in order to stay on as a mentor and also offer your services, it's $22. We have meetings all the time where we are sharing and doing healing, and so much is going on. So much is going on. So the school interests you, or if you're even confused about the school and you want more information, you can always set up a free call on my website to talk about it more. I have such beautiful students here and great guardians that are ready to assist as well in your journey from shadow to illumination. So if that interests you, then by all means, check it out on my website. And for those of you that are in the school, I will see you in class at noon. And for those of you that aren't, I'll see you back here tomorrow for Tarot Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Love you. And or you can catch me on Truth Wave meditating at 10 a.m. Eastern and 10 p.m. Eastern every day. Love you.